Evening, boys. It's Tony, back for another day. Look, not much has changed since yesterday's update. We've seen a little bit of a correction in US dollar, and then that was brought back up today from mainly the dollar yen. So if you think about what we were waiting for yesterday, we were waiting for that pullback to get an entry, waiting for some bit of strength, and then we were going to be buying dollar yen and selling whatever. Okay, so the whatever yesterday was Aussie dollar. Alright, so something against US dollar is what we're looking at. So what we got today was actually a little bit of a test of 75.80. That's the level that we talked about selling, and the dip down to 101.80 on the dollar yen. Same time that you're buying there was the right time to get short on the Aussie. Not really huge pips, but 20, 30 pips. 30 pips on the dollar yen, 20 pips on the Aussie. That's all we can extract from the market at the moment, really. It's probably going to go into a little bit of a lull until we get to Friday. Maybe on the ADP number, if it comes in strong, you might get some front running there. Dollar yen pushing higher. Don't think the dollar yen is going to get to 103 very easily in the next couple of days, though. What's happening in the rates market is that already they're starting to peel back expectations of September. So maybe September was a little ambitious. Maybe the Fed's just trying to gain optionality, which is have the ability to raise rates if they want, but not really intend to. I think that's a dangerous strategy. I think if they don't raise rates after talking about it so much in September, that they are going to get that US dollar selling pretty dramatically, and that December will come into doubt. But it is what it is, and you have to play the numbers, and the numbers are that the chances of them raising rates have gone back to 30% again. So it is a little bit less. That's why the US dollar hasn't really kicked higher. If it had gone from 40 up to 50, you would have a different picture here on the currency charts. But yeah, the market's extremely skeptical of the US dollar, or the Fed at the moment, actually. So maybe you're not going to get too much of this US dollar buying that we're trying to predict pre-confirmation they're going to raise rates, which will come from a really strong NFP number. A medium strength as expectation, 180k NFP number. It's not really going to cement that September rate hike. Might make it a little bit more probable though, and that could add to some gentle US dollar buying in the coming weeks pre-September. Might be a trade idea there. All right, so we'll be looking at the market's reaction and the actual number. I would actually like to have a gentle as expectation number and some small US dollar buying, something that we can actually get involved in. If it's a really strong number, the market might shoot higher, not really give you a chance to get that nice level. And if you're still holding, say, these positions from today, the ones we talked about buying yesterday and selling the Aussie, look, I mean, hold and see what happens down at 75.20. Hold and see if the dollar yen can kick higher. I myself are out, so it's up to you on how you want to trade it. I'll be looking for another opportunity, maybe down towards 102.10, 102.20 to be buying. I'm not really that interested though in the current market getting too heavy. It'd be pretty small trades. The dollar CAD is a little bit weaker than the Aussie. Looks pretty sick as well. Back above 130. No one seems to be wanting to stop this, so I think this is maybe a better way of playing that pound and euro rally. I mean, we were looking at pound Kiwi and euro Kiwi yesterday, euro Aussie and pound Aussie, but I don't trade the CAD that well. I don't trade it that much, and so the internal dynamics of it and the levels, which are really important, and the data, which is really important. I mean, I'm not there every day. I'm not living Canadian life, and you get a much better perspective if you trade the European session. If you're an Asian trader, Canadian dollar is a little foreign to you. It's not like the Aussie and the Kiwi. We can feel the Aussie and the Kiwi. I'm not so sure about the CAD. I'm not so sure about the CAD traders. So it looks really, really weak, right? Weak means that dollar CAD goes higher, but oil is not exactly the weakest in the market at the moment, and oil is a little bit hard to predict with this OPEC meeting coming up. So I might just leave it alone. But I understand the the sentiment towards playing this pair over, say, the Kiwi or the Aussie on the downside. A big part of that whole trade that we talked about yesterday was that you're going to get stock market selling, though, to add to the Aussie dollar and risk off feel. We haven't got that. We didn't get a kick on in the US selling, mainly because the market pared back the expectations of there being a rate hike. So nothing's really lining up for a clear trade for me at the moment. I'm happy to buy the US dollar. I just want a really nice level, and we're not getting that really nice level either on the euro or the pound, and the dollar yen's pretty stubbornly high. So I'll be looking to buy dollar yen on pullback, looking to sell Aussie on the rally. Just what level I get in and what price action happens really depends upon if this level breaks on the dollar yen in the next rest of the European session or the US session, and also if the 85.20 breaks on the Aussie. Otherwise, we might actually get back to 75.80, even 76 in the coming days, and that would be this sort of level I'll be looking at. Dollar yen, this is if the stock markets don't fall, and dollar yen maybe back towards 102, 101.80 again. Do I want to be long into the NFP? I mean, medium strength, 160 and above, probably going to end up with US dollar strength on the day. Only really weak is probably going to be US dollar weakness, sustained US dollar weakness. So maybe US dollar strength. Maybe we can find a pair to get involved in. But really, you'd want the market to give you some nice levels, a nice little US dollar sell-off ahead of it to give it better risk reward. Otherwise, just stay out, right? It's easy when the market's clear about what's going to happen. The uncertainty makes the trading uncertainty. Technicals are not working at all right now. You don't want to trade with technicals. You'd just be getting whipped, getting kicked, and there's no rhyme or reason without knowing what the Fed expectations are doing. There isn't. Maybe in the technical world you see patterns that are there, but you know how I feel about that. So pretty much everything's the same as we were talking about, just a little less US dollar strength because that expectation did get pared back. And just logging into the Forex Signals chat room. If you are at YouTube watching this, don't write me questions there. Write me questions at the Forex Signals chat room. It's a free chat room where you can get access to this stream and also ask questions there. Yeah, look, I don't think the Fed's going to raise rates, but I'm not playing that game. I'm playing the increasing chance of the Fed raising rates, US dollar strength game. All right, that's the thing I'm playing. So, yeah, don't be thinking that I'm US dollar bull because I think the Fed's. I'm a faith in Fed. I've got no faith in the Fed, and I can quickly turn into a US dollar bear. I mean, I was a big US dollar bear for the first 2 weeks pre-Yellen of this month. Yeah, what's going on there? The stream looks like it's chippity chap. I'm seeing issues on. I'm dropping frames for some reason. Oh, who am I gonna kill? My wife's been on this computer. So get out of that one. Get out of that one. I can see what you're talking about there now. I'm looking at the stream. Haven't seen that for a while. Let me have a look at it, guys. I'll see what's going on. Yeah, no, I see the lagging. No, it's very sketchy on my side. Yeah, look, I'm not sure. I'll just do it without the video. If the sound's fine, then everything should be okay from that side, right? I don't think it's going to be that big an issue with the charting. The market's not moving anyway. Yeah, but what the fuck? Seriously, man, I leave my wife in... You know, who knows what these ladies do? I mean, I don't know what people do who don't know how to use a computer. How do they break things? What are they doing? I mean, I've got MBM, which is super fast internet here. And I've got huge upload speed, so it doesn't make sense for it to be kicking out. But I'm getting like 60% drop frames right now. It's just quite ridiculous. Because I'm uploading at 1,000 kilobytes a second, which is enough usually. I mean, it could be the NBN. Maybe there's a problem. She was cleaning today, and she does kick out the cords. Just drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She'll bring me home some food, and I'll be happy. It's all good. So yeah, I mean, you got Kuroda a couple of days before FOMC Big River. And then a day after the FOMC, you've got the RBNZ. All right. Now that's going to be the game that's going to be important today, and sorry, this month. And how we position ourselves is probably going to be revolving around getting short the Kiwi, short the Aussie, and long the dollar yen in anticipation of them achieving some sort of success. Well, the problem with the dollar yen is that they fail so much at the meeting, but pre-game they're pretty good at talking it up. So the yen weakness that could come from that, also with the potential for that Fed hike, could mean that move from 102 to say 105 is a real possibility this month. That's the sort of move I'll be looking for. I won't be really chasing apart from 105. I won't be interested in being long at the FOMC if it's a 50-50 on the dollar yen. I won't be really looking to buy that dip either if the BOJ fails. But pre-BOJ in that 2-week run-up, yeah, we can get long the dollar yen for sure. And selling the Kiwi, makes sense if there's some murmurs that they might be able to cut rates again early, or just some sort of concern about the strength. This is the right time for the RBNZ to get more aggressive when the market's turned a little, and the market has turned a little. They just need to make sure that they can press the advantage at this particular point in time. It's no good jawboning while the market's going up. It's best when the market's already rolling down. So yeah, there's a few opportunities. BOE early as well, that's a week earlier than everything else, and they may actually, not be as dovish as they were previously, and help the pound to rally. I mean, some of that data's been decent out of the UK, so you could see that come through in terms of this is the month after that nuclear option that the BOE did. So hard for them to be ultra dovish again. They're not going to announce anything new. So yeah, but this is, maybe the pound. That's why we're looking at the pound Kiwi for this month. It could end up being 800, 900, 1,000 pips higher, just because of that little bit of play. But this is all conjecture. Nothing's really moving just yet. We're just looking for plans, looking for plays. It would really help if, say, oil picked a direction. It would really help if stocks picked a direction. When stocks just go sideways, you're stuck in this sort of risk neutral market. It's 3 weeks, right? The market's flinging nothing. It's doing nothing. This risk neutral market, which is really hard to get an edge in if you're sort of like a sentiment trader. I mean, the sentiment is neutral. The sentiment towards the US dollar is mildly bullish. It's not aggressively anything. There's no aggressive positioning in the market. There's no movement in the market, so you can't get, those looking for reversals, looking for setups. There's nothing there that you can play. DAX is surprisingly strong here. Yeah, so let's just play it by ear, guys. It's not, you don't have to trade every day. You don't have to get into the market and try to predict the directions on every single session. If it's not giving you much, it's not giving you much. I think everyone here would be happy to be selling the euro, 112.50. Buying the dollar yen under 102. We just might not get that level again in the next few hours. RBA next week's interesting. RBA next week. I'm playing Aussie via Aussie Kiwi. So I really need this not to break 104 next week. I need there to be not some downgrade to the economic forecast, something that can get the bears chattering, some reason to suspect they may cut again this year. At the moment, it's very unlikely they cut again this year, but it is potentially possible if the inflation is weak and the Fed does not hike. If the Fed hikes, that does most of the work for the central bank. Considering that the Fed is now on a hiking stance, perhaps this gives them a little less pressure to go aggressive. All right, but then again, perhaps they see it as an opportunity to really press their case and be dovish to get that Aussie to drop. I'm not sure they're smart like that. I'm not sure that they're currency traders. They seem to have a little bit of lack of market reaction knowledge, right? Most of these central bankers don't seem to understand what their words will mean in the currency market, especially Wheeler from the RBNZ. But you can make the case that they could do the dovish stance. You can make the case that they'll be a little less dovish because of the Fed. I think they're probably going to be very interested to see if the Fed raises in September as well. And they might explicitly mention that, right? That's a big part of their outlook. What happens to the US dollar and the Aussie dollar will impact global markets. So if the Fed raises rates. So yeah, the RBA will be interesting. RBA could be a precursor to what the RBNZ will do. So we'll watch with interest. But more than likely, it's not going to be a huge event. It'd be interesting, but not important. They're not cutting. Yeah. That's a great sell, Big River. Did you sell that because of the other stuff, or did you sell it because of last night, or are you just selling because of its Yeah, let's not even look at the Aussie Kiwi, mate. Let's not even look at the Aussie Kiwi. Aussie Kiwi. Let's have a look. It's my only trade really I've got going on. Got a long Euro Yen. It's not doing anything. Yeah, we don't have much. Don't have much hope here. Really weak bounce. Seems to be just waiting until it goes lower again. I'm just going to sit and wait and see what happens. What we want to see is the Kiwi itself drop. That's important for a lot of these trades, like the pound Kiwi trade we talked about. We need to see the Kiwi itself drop. At the moment, it's just being bought back up every dip, so it's not giving us that that follow through. You'd think that there'd be a few stops developing though. Like where the Aussie's got 75 is a big level. Probably looking lows 171s as a big level here for the Kiwi. It's really hard to sell though. I think everyone who's been a natural seller of the pound, like, the euro, like, the Kiwi, a natural seller of the Kiwi, like Kilimanjaro and a few other traders, are a bit sidelined because of that relentless rally it's been doing in spite of all that RBNZ pressure. And remember, the dairy prices are just surging at the moment, and the yield in the New Zealand dollar is still 1.5% to 2%. So it's like, you know, we're waiting for something which might not happen. But the positioning is pretty long, so you can imagine that the longs are a little restless. This is a very important week for the Kiwi to fall, actually. We need to see next Monday below, say, 71.50. Just to get the bears out of hibernation. Let's have a little look at the banking wrap today. I mean, I'm guessing they're not going to have much to say because they will see the market reactions in this market at the moment and say, well, it's not doing too much. It's 36% at the moment. That could be my internet connection, Potter. It's not moving very quick, is it? I might have lag, man, or something going on. Yeah, I'm getting some spikes here on the it's giving me warnings. It's always a good sign when you get warnings from the computer. Yeah, well, ING gave us nothing. Just normal stuff there. SocGen, let's see what you got for us. Yeah, these month-end flows as well to deal with. From what I saw, it was dollar buying on the month-end flows, so perhaps it was mild though. So I'll get something for you tomorrow for those month-end flows, but don't think it's a big thing this month. It's a big thing when the stock markets are moving and the stock markets didn't move. It's a big thing because the rebalancing of giant portfolios happens at the end of the month based upon movement in asset classes, and there hasn't been any movement in asset classes. So don't expect month-end flows to be a big thing when there's no movement in the market. So don't expect month-end flows to be a big thing when there's no movement in the market. Just checking the samples. Yeah, this is an interesting article. When is the stock market likely to correct? Just going to see if there's anything here that is timely, and that's what I care about with research reports anyway. Something which is saying, watch out for this. It might be the indication of stocks rolling over. Oh God, seems like an academic paper. Ain't nobody got time for that. Let's have a look at some technicals from Credit Suisse. We look at this every few days. What is important after the big moves from the Fed is to see where some of those larger supports come in. We will look at the Danksty technical update as well to see some of those 200-day moving averages, 100-day moving averages, just to make sure that you know where they are. Let's have a look at that at the same time. So if anything is coming into play, this will be up there for us. I mean, you've got some bigger Euro ones a little bit closer. Actually, the 50-day moving average on the dollar yen's pretty close. We're still ages away from the pound. Dollar Swiss is not technical, so leave that alone. Aussie dollar is what I'm interested in. Okay. So 73.80. In terms of if we break 75, that could be on the cards. Kiwi dollar, I mean, it's much further away. Think about how far away the 200-day is for the Kiwi compared to the Aussie. Right, we're talking Aussie Kiwi back at 108 in terms of a market change of trend. And the thing is, right, when you change trend, if the US dollar gets strong for a long time, then you're dealing with this catch up, because the market's actually sell. It looks for natural targets. I mean, 200-day moving average is a pretty big one, and it's not ages away. It's just 400 pips. But the Aussie is only 140 pips away. So that would bring the Aussie Kiwi way higher, 107, 108, 109. And it's not like the Kiwi's going to hold its strength if the US dollar is strong, right? If the US dollar is gaining against everything, you get this sell on rally technique where the longs have to get out eventually and get stop hunted, and then when the bears take control, they go for a natural target. That's what I'm talking about there. So the pullback in the Kiwi's got substantial more room. It is right that the positioning in the Aussie is a much more aggressive long than the Kiwi, but the Kiwi, no one really has huge positioning in the Kiwi, right? It's just the way the market is. They push it around all the time. So don't treat it like a major. It's not really a major. It's just this little whipping boy that lives next to Australia. It's like the ugly stepbrother of Australia. Stocks are significantly, they haven't had a correction for a while. You'd probably need some negative news from China to get serious selling. I don't think the Fed hiking rates is going to be taken that negatively. But at the moment, things are really stable. That's a strong sign, not a weak sign. Stability helps stocks rally. Right, let's have a look at a different set of graphs. This is more. I wonder how many traders have given up on the euro in terms of giving up trading it. How many months can we stay in a tight range? If we find out in a few years' time that they've had a concerted effort to keep volatility low in the FX markets at the G8 and G20 meetings, it wouldn't surprise me. The markets have gone so quiet. It's almost like there's this effort to not rock the boat. But perhaps it's all to do with the central banks all having 0% interest rates as well. There's no large movements. Only the US dollar can really change things with that divergence play. I didn't know you were in the room, DRCDP. I was just joking, mate. Just joking. You guys are good. You guys are good at rugby union. Alright, where's the Aussie? So, the 200-day moving average 73.81. Looks like also if you draw the trend lines like they drew on the dailies, you can set some sort of support coming in relatively close to that. I don't know. I don't know why it would stop. I don't know why it would stop at 73.80. If it's a US dollar strength because they've raised in September and they indicated they may raise again in December, then that US dollar strength probably easier for it just to keep falling. But the Kiwi really hasn't had a big dip for a while. I'm actually really starting to get bearish on the Kiwi. I might have to disable it from my account. It's going to cost me some money. I wonder if I ring up the broker and I ask them to remove Kiwi dollar from my trading account, if they can do it. I know the answer to that anyway. You really can't. You can't modify MT4 accounts, individualize them. You can remove it personally though. MT4 is a really old program, right? There isn't that much use, the ability to modify. Inside the administrator area of it. So before, when the oil was really weak, we're talking about that move above 133. This is a couple of weeks ago. If we do get that move towards 133, I think that the that 135 will then come into view. I don't know. It's going to be a lot to do with oil as well. OPEC failing again at the Algeria meeting would be another catalyst for this pair to ricochet higher. So yeah, keep an eye on oil. Remain, bearish on the CAD just because the US dollar is so strong, but it's always we're playing two pairs when you're playing this pair. Alright, so people ask me, a few clients are talking about Euro Yen with me about buying. Can we get long Euro Yen because of the dollar Yen recovery on that 105 move? Yeah, I mean, it makes a little bit of sense. The Euro is probably not going to fall as fast as the dollar Yen's going to rally. There's a little bit of support for the Euro on dips, and Euro Yen is significantly low, and there's not much resistance to the top side, so it may go along with the major. You might end up having the Euro US dollar and pound all outperforming against the yen, Aussie, Kiwi, and CAD. We've seen that before in the past. Anytime you get that, it usually though it will happen if you get a bit of stock market weakness as well. So let's just see on that particular play. And Euro pound, we've had now our order in Euro pound for a few days, and we haven't got filled yet, so we might have to lower our entry rate. Let's go in a bit closer. You know what? I'm just going to enter at market a little bit and add more if we get a little lower. Alright guys, yeah, so unfortunately there's not too much to report tonight. We haven't got anything to be excited about just yet. Looking at a few trades to develop. Looking to buy that dollar yen on dips. Stock market's being strong doesn't hurt the dollar yen at all. But there is some decoupling going on there. And looking to sell the Aussie on rallies. 75.60, 75.70 maybe. If it's looking pretty strong as well though, just wait to 76, 75.80, above that, just take stops and such. It's a high probability trade up there. Dollar yen's a little expensive, but it is also looking quite strong. Alright, if there's no other questions, no other pairs you want me to look at, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 GMT. Hopefully we've got something to report. I mean, tomorrow we've got ADP. That could be a little bit more fun. Looking for a strong number there that gets the US dollar bulls moving. That would be helpful, especially if we get into some trades beforehand. But yeah, we're asking a lot from the market if we want the ADP to do something. Alright guys, good luck with your trades. If you want me to look at a particular pair, make sure you send me a PM during the day. I'll get it before I start, and then we can definitely go into that. Probably have to look at some crosses to find something interesting at the moment. US dollar story is pretty clean.